Are you going there Wednesday or Thursday?
At this time, we'll call to order the regular City Council meeting for March 14th, 2022. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk Deaton, could you let the roll call show all council members are present? And we'll move on to the approval of minutes for February 28th, 2022. Councilmember Kennedy?
I'll move the minutes.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the minutes from March 2nd, 2022. Councilmember Kennedy?
I'll move the minutes.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the bills this evening. Councilmember Dill.
I'll move the bills.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Approval of tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Tonight's consent agenda, Easter egg scramble and application for temporary use for a monthly youth entrepreneur market. Councilmember Kurtzwell.
Move the consent agenda as presented by the mayor.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. At this time, we will open the floor for public comment. Please be sure to state your name and address, and remember that we have a 2-minute time limit. At this time, we will close the floor for public comment. We'll move on to the discussion of downtown with Mr. Nate Mack.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first thing is just a quick report on the South Lyon Carnival. That event took place Saturday, March 5th from 4 to 7 p.m. First, I'd like to thank the DPW for helping get items down to the parking lot, the heaters that we luckily didn't have to use for the day, as well as the police and fire departments who had a strong presence at the event as well. The fire department pulled down a fire truck to be there just in case something went wrong with the street performer who did some activities with fire for the last half hour. So we're appreciative of their efforts to be there at the event. And what else can I say about the event other than it was fantastic. Every bar and restaurant had a wait. There were hundreds of people in the parking lot. There was a lot of people downtown that were staying downtown. One thing we'll definitely be looking to do for next year is to close the streets. Got a lot of feedback on that. But I mean, the weather worked out. It was just kind of a perfect storm of good things happening that day. So that was a very successful event, and we'll be looking to do it again, hopefully bigger and better next year. Moving on, the DDA board met on Thursday, March 10th, which was last Thursday. The board recommended the farmers market remain in its usual location during the Pumpkin Fest weekend. There had been some discussions in the past about the farmers market moving. However, the board didn't make that recommendation to have it remain there. They also voted to approve the DDA budget and then recommended City Council approve that budget when the time is appropriate. We have also hired a new farmers market manager officially. Her name is Diana Regan. She has Diana's Heirloom Produce, which is the big, long table of produce that you see as you come in on the left-hand side of the market. She's been a vendor at the South Lyon Farmers Market. This will be her 14th year. She also does holly, but she has enough staff to where she's able to do the market manager duties and have her booth ran by her staff. I spoke with her today. She's got all the food trucks scheduled for every Saturday throughout the season, as well as 17 vendors signed up already. So she's off to a great start. The apartment development on Lafayette Street is looking to go to Planning Commission soon for site plan approval. So once that's on their agenda, we'll obviously know more about that. And finally, the flower baskets. We're going to be taking the leftover baskets from last year out to Donahue Farms, and they're going to get them planted this week. So if there's any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Councilmember Dill, go ahead and get us started.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say it was so great down at Carnival. It was, and I heard some people say too, oh, I thought there'd be more, whatever, and I just said, this is a little start. This is our, first try at this, and it was beautiful weather, and I just think it was such a good way to start with this and not try to go too big with it, and people just thoroughly enjoyed themselves, except for we want more, there was nothing negative at all, and it was just a really wonderful time. I just really appreciate that.
Thanks.
So, and thank you to the DDA and also the volunteers there.
Yeah, the promotions committee did a lot of work for the event. It definitely wasn't all me, and their volunteer help should definitely be recognized.
And more hot dogs next year.
Yeah, they were sold out at 5:30. So.
Thank you very much. A great job.
Councilmember Kivel, and then I'll come to you, Councilmember Mosher.
I'm really enthused by the new market manager that she's already projecting that we'll outgrow that lot. So that's really exciting. Mm-hmm. So, and as you said, if she's already got everybody signed up for the upcoming season, we're in good hands. That's great.
Councilmember Mosher, go ahead.
Thank you. Who all is on your promotions committee for the DDA?
We have Tanya Nevitt, who is the chair of the committee. She's also on the DDA board. Karen Nagy, Blake Crady, and Andrea O'Keefe. They're all South Lyon residents.
They're just residents,
Yeah.
not building
Yeah.
business owners?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to commend them for the great job that they did on Carnival. It was just such a fantastic event this year. For the short amount of time that they had to put that together, they did an excellent job.
Thanks. I'll pass the message.
And then as far as Diana goes, she's going to be awesome. You watch, this market's going to be taken to the next level.
Yeah, she asked me today if, she goes, would we be able to use that other parking lot on Liberty Street? And I said, yeah, if you can fill it up, let's do it.
She knows a
that'd be
lot of
great.
vendors.
Yep.
She does a lot of markets herself. And I don't know if you've been to the Holly Market, but she brought that up. I think they only had like maybe 30 vendors at one time. She's up to well over 60 now in just one short year that she's been there. And plus she got the farmer's market going in the winter time. She found a building to have it, not every weekend, but they still have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. It's going to be a great farmer's market.
I just want to say more.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Councilmember Kennedy, and then I'll come over to you.
Nate, I just wanted to say kudos on the weather. You must have connection.
Yeah.
Okay, see if we can make that happen again.
All right.
Councilmember Dill,
I just wanted to, I forgot that I just also wanted to say that it was really great to do things like that because not only are people down there during the event, but we stayed down at the Corner Social for several hours after that, and when we left, there were still a ton of people at all the restaurants and bars. So anything we can do like that to keep people downtown, it's just really great. And it's just nice that we have enough places to kind of absorb the crowd now. So even when the Italian place opens, and I think that'll be even better.
Yeah.
Councilmember Hanson, go ahead.
Yeah, kudos on the event. It was a lot of fun. Had friends coming from out of town, and we were bopping around to several of the different locations. And I mean, we showed up early at the hotel, and by the time we were leaving at like 5, the line to get in was like snaking up the hill, up the staircase. So it was really great to see that kind of turnout. And yeah, the event's really a lot of fun. So congrats.
Thank you.
And kudos on that.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Nate.
All right, thank you.
We'll move on to the fire chief report tonight with Chief Thorington.
Good evening. So since the last council meeting, we ran 42 calls. 31 have been EMS. We had a down power line, an unauthorized burn, a standby, and a couple canceled en route, and carbon monoxide. Smoke alarm installs are still a big hit. We've done a dozen or so of those. Replaced a few batteries. Our inspector is getting out. He was in class all week, but the week prior, he had done 5 annual inspections and 2 plan reviews. And then the last Friday, we just implemented and put in service our new SCBAs, our self-contained breathing apparatus. They're phenomenal. It's amazing how the NFPA standards have really improved the safety features. They have all kinds of LED lights that flash on them. You can see your air levels of your mask now. It used to be you had to manually turn on pass alarm device, so if a firefighter went down, you didn't move for a certain amount of time, it'd go off. Now when you turn your oxygen on or your air on your tanks, it kicks on automatically and it flashes LED. So in the event there is an emergency and a firefighter down, it'll really help us find them, and it's a huge safety feature. So that's kind of all I have right now, but...
Councilmember Kurtzwell, go ahead.
Yes.
I had a quick question. Could you sort of explain what your experience is with a ladder truck, driving-wise, maintenance-wise, anything? Just talk a little bit about your background with ladder trucks.
Sure. Excuse me. So when I was at Dearborn, part of my career, I was for 4 or 5 years a ladder truck driver and an apparatus supervisor assistant when I did maintenance on the trucks and equipment. So I drove truck every day, and being an apparatus assistant, I spec'd out a ladder truck and the engine. It was part of the process and the purchasing of it. So.
Are you familiar with the type of ladder truck that we're getting that is being custom made for us, for our city?
Yep, we had 2 very similar. We had 2 buckets and 1 stick. It was very similar to what we have coming here now. So.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yep.
Great. Councilmember Kennedy?
So Chief, did you say you still have smoke detectors available for installation?
I believe we're down to about 20 now.
About 20?
Yep.
Do we have any carbon monoxide alarms, or is it just the smoke detector?
Just smoke alarms at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Move on to the police chief report tonight with Lieutenant Baki.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Just got a few things for you tonight. We're preparing for a mock assessment for May 4th. We had a pre-mock discussion with some of our outside assessors last week, and just kind of gave us some ideas of what we need to improve on and what we need to do to get through our assessment program for our MELAC accreditation. We also helped out with the Kids Club's members in the schools, doing some ALICE instruction for them. It was about 24 teachers, and we did it at Bartlett. Also working with the city manager to do ALICE training for city workers. So working with, to try to schedule to do something for the DPW, water plant, and City Hall. Hopefully we'll be able to get that done next month. And the police department's budget has been submitted to Paul and Patricia for review, and we're looking forward to the budget workshop in April.
All right. Anyone have anything for Lieutenant Baki tonight? All right, great job.
Thank you.
We have no unfinished business this evening, so we'll move on to new business. Number 1, award of bid to demolish the abandoned building located at 501 McMunn.
Thanks, Mayor. As part of our efforts to make further improvements to McCady Park, we've solicited bids to remove the asbestos and demolish the abandoned house at 501 McMunn. Supporting documents tonight, you have a letter from engineers at HRC outlining their recommendations for award of the bid to demolish the building at 501 McMunn and correspondence as far as the bid tabulation information. Tonight, the action is approve or not approve the award of bid to demolish a building at 501 McMunn to Asbestos Abatement, Inc. of Lansing at amount not to exceed $22,800 from account number 101-690-801.
Councilmember Kivel, go ahead.
I was just kind of curious, 4 out of the 6 people didn't end up providing the requested information. I don't understand why we, I know that it's not us, you know, I mean, they just think if they can get by without submitting, then they're you know, they can get a cheaper, they don't have to put in the amount of effort that's necessary to actually secure something like this. But I wonder how much time did you end up having to spend with those those vendors if they didn't end up providing that information.
Well, we didn't spend any additional information because it's the sealed bid. Engineers receive the information. If they comply with everything, then they continue to move on. But we check everything that was submitted. If they did not submit the information as requested, we go through the rest of them and look at who has and what the lowest responsible bidder actually is. And it's too bad, that they don't submit all the required information. Some people put forth the effort and they really want the bid. Other people do not.
Well, as this one turned out, it worked out well for us. I mean, we saved $8,000 from the next bid that had submitted all the information. So it just seems funny that they would, because all these guys do this. I mean, that's their living. So how they think that they'll scoot by without providing that seems odd. All right, thank you. Well, actually, okay. I wanted to actually just go ahead and make the bid too.
Go ahead, Councilmember Gill.
Or the motion. I'd make the motion that we approve the award to bid the demolition of buildings at 501 McMunn to Asbestos Abatement Incorporated of Lansing at the amount not to exceed $22,800 from account 101-690-801.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Kivel, supported by Councilmember Kennedy. Do we have any further discussion? Go ahead, Councilmember.
I was just curious, what's the timeline look like?
Probably 30 to 60 days for them to, come in, but it is definitely supposed to be done before the end of the year, so.
Good, thank you.
Great. As long as no one else has anything, City Clerk Deaton, could you please lead us in a roll call vote?
Kibble?
Yes.
Moser?
Yes.
Steve? Sorry, Kennedy.
Yes.
It's the time change.
My best Steve.
Kurtzweil?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Felter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passes. On to the budget this evening. Does anyone have anything on the budget?
I do, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
I may.
Sure, yes,
Mr.
please.
Mayor.
Absolutely. I didn't see you sneak up there.
I just wanted to give everyone just an update and a reminder. We had our pre-budget meeting on the 2nd of March to talk about potential uses of our ARPA funds that we received from the federal government, which will be approximately $1.2 million. The first round of reporting that will be required for non-entitlement units, which would be municipalities our size and such for the state of Michigan, are due on April 30th. After those reports are in, I will report back to council as to some of the things that other municipalities have already gone and started working on projects with their funds, what was approved, what wasn't approved, so we can then look how we want to move forward with our funding options. And then I also want to remind everyone that we have until December 31st of 2024 to commit what our dollars are going to be spent on, and then we have until December of 2026 to actually expend all those funds. So we still have time to kind of thoughtfully plan things out. And then also our fiscal year 22-23 budget, we're going to have our first workshop coming up on April 6th, and that will be at 6 p.m. Do I have the date right? Yes, April 6th. Boy, life is going by really fast right now. And we hope to get those budget binders done this week, but definitely they will be in the hands of council about 10 days prior to that meeting, so you'll have time to thoroughly review them before the meeting. And that's all I had.
Councilmember Kurtzwell, go ahead.
I just wanted to, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to ask you, are you going to be prepared to talk about the water bills in terms of the new rate structure that we have?
Yes.
In terms
Absolutely.
of how we are generating revenue, whether we are increasing revenue, whether we are, whatever.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to a fairly detailed discussion on that topic.
And the proposed new rates for the fiscal year will be built into that budget, but I can also do an analysis of, since the rates have changed, where our revenues have been.
And that was going to be my next question, is do you anticipate or have you built in with your projection and estimates into that budget what you think the rates should be for the following year?
Yes, I have the rates, though, based on the study that was done by Plant Moran
Okay.
2 years ago that was approved by council. So those are the rates that I'll be working with.
You're going to be working with? Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that update. At this time, we will open the floor for public comment. Please remember to state your name and address. We will close the floor for public comment, and we will move on to the manager's report with City Manager Zelnick.
Our upcoming meetings we have for City Council, we'll be having discussion on the bond language for the August ballot proposal regarding the road improvements. Additionally, we'll be bringing back the water and sewer tap fee usage policy, and also the discussion on the unsolicited material ordinance that was brought to Council last month. We held our first road committee meeting this past week. The 3 members of the committee and our engineer and myself attended the meeting. At the meeting, we had discussed long-term plans to improve the roads, as well as the proposed ballot language. The committee also had some excellent ideas on the frequently asked questions that were created, and also discussed the reaching out to the public and some ideas regarding visual representation for certain materials that we will be giving the residents for give them a better idea on the road conditions and how the ballot proposal will affect them. We'll be communicating additional ideas before the next meeting, and we're expected to have a meeting within the next couple of weeks. And also a reminder that the March Board Review is taking place right now. We heard appeals on the 8th, and also today, and the last date is going to be on the 16th here at City Hall. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Councilmember Dill, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple quick questions. When does the ballot language have to be in? When do we have to have it ready?
Ballot language has to be in, I think it's 16 weeks prior, which is actually May 10th.
Okay, so it is soon.
That's
And then I just wanted to know, with the road committee, if you had a feel for how they accepted the information. Did they seem positive about it?
Yeah, they seemed very positive. They had a lot of questions, and we're exchanging more information regarding the PACER study and some additional information regarding the current city local road and major road budgets. But I'm typing up kind of a synopsis of what occurred at the meeting to let them review and make sure we have all their ideas on paper so we can have things ready for the next meeting.
Great, thank you.
Councilmember Kivel, go ahead.
I was wondering if I saw the noted on lefties, so that in Mike's narrative there, has anything happened? Have they shown any evidence that they're planning on trying to comply?
They have not shown any. Did not show up to court, and so I'll be moving on with the next steps based upon the recommendation of the prosecutor.
Okay, is it, because it spoke to the idea of escalating tickets, so, and we don't have any resistance to that idea, do we?
Not at all.
Okay. Sort of on the same note, has there been any movement at all over at 110 Detroit? Any notice from them or kind of
There's been some correspondence back and forth with the attorney and the building department regarding compliance and the building permit. I'm not sure what was resolved with the building official on that, but I know I saw correspondence last week regarding that and trying to get them to comply to that. But there's still, everything is still going to take place whether they submit those things or not. So,
do we have any idea of where we are on the docket?
I do not know, but I can try to find that out for you. I'll try to report that back in the next.
It's probably going to be a year and a half, but who knows? That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything for City Manager Zelnick tonight? Okay. We will move on to council comments this evening, and we'll start with Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight I want to share a shout out to the South Lyon boys swim and dive team. They had an amazing season with their 5th straight Lakes Valley Conference Championship, a new LVC 200 relay record. All 3 relays qualified for state, as well as 4 individuals qualifying in 1 or more events. This past weekend at the Michigan High School Athletic Association Division I State Championships, they added an exclamation point to their season with the 400 relay team racing to a new South Lyon varsity record. All 3 relay teams scoring, plus 2 individuals scoring in the top 16. Just an amazing job, guys. And finally, if you didn't already, remember to move your clocks forward 1 hour for daylight saving time, and also remember to change the batteries in your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide alarms. Now is the time to do that, because working detectors and alarms save lives. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Great reminder, Councilmember Kennedy. Councilmember Kurtzwell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who attended the Carnival event in our downtown. This is your community, and if you want nice stores, and if you want a nice downtown, if you want nice restaurants, then you need to shop downtown. You need to stay downtown for a while, and we want you to come back and come back often. I'd also like to thank everybody who supported the Girl Scouts this weekend during their cookie drive. The Girl Scouts were out at the McCaddy Center right here in downtown. So I'd like to thank Randy Clark, the property owner, who shared some real estate with the Girl Scouts this weekend, and I'm sure he got a couple of cookies out of it in return. The Girl Scouts were also over at Milford and 10 Mile, and they were at the grocery stores. So thank you to everybody who is supporting this just incredible, incredible organization. And last, don't forget the fish fries that are going on in the month of March. We have plenty of restaurants here in town. You don't need to go to Novi, you don't need to go to Green Oak, you don't need to go anyplace other than right here in South Lyon. Frankly, with the gas prices the way they are, why would you want to go to Green Oak and Novi? Stay right here in the city of South Lyon and go to your fish fry. We have plenty of restaurants, the churches, everybody. So have a great week, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kurtzwell. Councilmember Hanson.
I just feel that I should make the comment that currently interest rates are on the rise. So speaking from a banker's perspective, anyone that's looking to finance a new vehicle or refinance an existing loan that may be put off, interest rates are on the uptick, and from what I've read, the Fed is considering maybe raising interest rates about 0.5%. So keep that in mind. I also did want to mention again the 18th annual South Lyon Creek Cleanup and Earth Day celebration that's taking place on Sunday, April 24th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll be meeting at the truck parking lot on 400 McMunn Street near the Michigan Seamless Tube and Pipe, South Lyon. So it might be a little bit cold on that day, so be sure to dress accordingly. Have rubber boots, gloves. I'll be bringing my waders. So I hope to see as many people there as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hanson. Councilmember Mosier.
I just want to ditto what Councilmember Kurtzwell said about keeping it downtown. And again, Nate, that was a great job on the Carnival. It was just awesome, and we've got a lot of spring weather this week. So let's get out there, clean up the yards, and look forward to Farmers Market.
Thank you. Councilmember Dill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to say, you know, they had come in here, but they didn't have a chance to talk because we pushed the consent agenda so quickly. But I'm actually a member of the Kensington Valley Civitan Club, and I came in when they were just starting to talk about doing this youth entrepreneur market. And I'm really excited about it. I think I'm really glad that they kept it in South Lyon, because the owner of Bigby actually has both in Lyon Township and South Lyon. So I was really pleased that they decided to keep it here. And they met with Nate to make sure that they weren't going to be stealing customers from each other. But I think it'll be a nice complementary thing. I think it's a really, really, really good idea, and I'm hoping that they get a lot of interest with people at their booths, and looking forward to getting some people down there to help spur that youth entrepreneur spirit. So that's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Kibble.
Most of the stuff has been talked to. I did want to bring up the idea that the RCA building, the new Italian restaurant that's coming into town, they've completed the cladding on the exterior. Hopefully everybody will take a good look at it. It's quite an attractive building. There's still some exterior elements that need to be taken care of, and they have to move an awful lot of drywall and equipment into the place before it's up and running. But it's really a very, very nice presentation as you drive into the downtown from the east. So that'll be a real gate there for us. So that's really all I've got. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Kibble. I just have a handful of notes tonight. I definitely want to add to everyone's compliments of Nate and the DDA on a great job on a new event. I think it was really easy to see that the community is starving for those events to come back in full force. And just a reminder, and I think Councilmember Kurtzwell kind of touched on a little bit about staying in town, and we need volunteers to be able to do those types of events. And so, Pumpkin Fest is coming up. If you've got some free time to maybe volunteer and help out on some of these events, I know they'd love to have you. So, but great job by Nate and everyone on the DDA and everyone that was involved with that, so thank you. South Lyon Collision, celebrating 40 years this past week, so congratulations to the Fagan family. Gary is very involved in our community here, and I grew up with his sons and daughters, and very happy for the team over at South Lyon Collision celebrating their 40th